And now I'm here and they're all running. I drop down a weight class and the champ goes running. He goes running. So he's back up to 145.
Great success recently. One of the best in the business.
Very nice left right to Ricky Bandejas.
The drama surrounding Arrogance in combat sports is never subtle, and it never ends quietly. It builds slowly through press conferences, interviews, and social media clips, where confidence crosses the line into entitlement and bravado turns into belief.
See, after me, I'm coming for that belt and I'm taking it. I'm going to whip this fella on Friday night and then I'm going straight for that fucking belt. And that's the way it's going to feel, and I can't wait to...
Gallagher to a test here tonight, Big John. And so far, so good.
And outstanding.
Fighters convince themselves the outcome is already decided, that their opponent is just another obstacle, another name to erase. And then the bell rings. When that happens, history has a habit of correcting the narrative in the most violent way possible.
Go in there and let loose, get them shots popping. And when I'm in training, I'm holding back. I don't want to hurt my teammates, the people that are helping me get to this level.
On December 14th, 2013, the boxing world gathered to witness what many believed would be another routine step in the rise of Adrien Broner. At the time, Broner was being marketed as the future of the sport. He had the flash, the mouth, the highlight reel style, and the self-assured swagger of someone who believed the spotlight belonged to him. He lived loudly, spoke boldly, and carried himself like a man already crowned. Across the ring stood Marcos Maidana, a relentless Argentine pressure fighter who didn't look the part of superstar, but had built his reputation on durability.
I don't want to injure them and don't want to land heavy shots, because that's not good training. You're just damaging your own body and you're damaging their body.
Aggression, and an almost reckless willingness to take punishment to give it back tenfold. Broner never hid how he felt about the matchup. In the build-up, he mocked Maidana openly, dismissing him as crude, predictable, and limited. He promised violence. He promised a knockout. He promised that the fight wouldn't last the full 12 rounds. Every interview reinforced the same message. This was going to get ugly, and not for him. Maidana, meanwhile, said far less. He listened, trained, and waited. From the opening bell, the difference between image and intent became obvious. Maidana surged forward immediately, throwing heavy punches with bad intentions. He didn't give Broner space to pose or time to perform. He closed distance, attacked the body, and forced Broner backward. Broner tried to sell calm. He shook his head, smirked, and taunted, pretending the punches didn't matter. But behind that performance, the damage was accumulating. Maidana's shots were thudding into arms, ribs, and shoulders, slowly draining energy and confidence. By the second round, the illusion cracked. Maidana landed clean, snapping Broner's head back and sending him to the canvas for the first time in his career. The arena erupted, not just because of the knockdown, but because of what it represented. The untouchable was suddenly vulnerable. Broner got up, but his body language had changed. The swagger had dulled. The smiles were gone. Maidana smelled it and pressed harder. The fight turned into a battle of attrition, and Broner was losing it. Maidana continued to walk him down, landing hooks to the body and looping shots upstairs. Broner tried to respond with counters and moments of brilliance, but they came in flashes, not waves. Maidana's pressure never stopped. When Broner went down again, it was no longer shocking. It was inevitable. By the final bell, there was no debate. Maidana had stripped away the hype, handed Broner his first professional loss, and exposed the cost of underestimating a man who doesn't need words to fight. Years later, that same lesson echoed inside the Bellator cage in May 2019 at Bellator 221.
Instead, I bring the pace down, just go technical, let their technical skills build mine, and hopefully I can build theirs.
Venom Page had built a reputation as one of the flashiest fighters in mixed martial arts. His hands-low style, wide stance, and theatrical movements made him a highlight machine. He danced, taunted, and treated opponents like props in his performance. Heading into his welterweight semi-final bout against Douglas Lima, Page carried that same energy. He smirked, bounced, and acted as though Lima was just another name on his path to superstardom. But Douglas Lima was not impressed. A former champion with devastating power, Lima approached the fight with patience and restraint. He didn't chase Page. He didn't react to the taunts. He studied him, tracked his movement, and waited. Page entertained the crowd early, landing flashy strikes and playing to the cameras. But every second he spent showboating was another second Lima spent collecting data. In the second round, the moment arrived. Page lunged forward recklessly, his hands low, his feet out of position. Lima chopped his leg with a perfectly timed low kick, sweeping Page off balance. As Page tried to recover, Lima stepped in and unleashed a crushing right hand that connected clean. The impact was devastating. Page collapsed to the canvas, unconscious before he hit the mat. In one instant, all the dancing, all the swagger, all the confidence evaporated. The arena fell silent as Lima stood over him, a reminder that patience and precision will always outlast flash. The pattern continued at Bellator 204, where James Gallagher entered the cage, convinced he was the next Conor McGregor. Undefeated and overflowing with confidence, Gallagher leaned fully into the role. He mocked Ricky Bandejas during press events, promised domination, and spoke as if his rise to superstardom was inevitable. He talked about belts, futures, and clinics he planned to put on. He claimed he was simply on another level. Ricky Bandejas heard it all and said very little. When the cage door closed, the tone shifted immediately. Bandejas stayed calm, respected Gallagher's ground game, and refused to be baited. Gallagher came forward aggressively, throwing strikes with confidence but little caution. He pushed the pace, believing his pressure would break his opponent. Instead, it created an opening. Just minutes into the fight, Bandejas unleashed a devastating head kick that landed flush. Gallagher dropped instantly. Before he could recover, Bandejas swarmed him with brutal ground and pound, forcing the referee to step in. The fight was over, the hype silenced, and the self-proclaimed future was left staring up at the lights. In a matter of moments, all the talk collapsed under the weight of reality. The final chapter of this episode takes us back to one of the most controversial nights in modern boxing history. On September 17th, 2011, Victor Ortiz stepped into the ring against Floyd Mayweather Jr. The build-up was tense, emotional, and charged with hostility. Ortiz was young, hungry, and convinced that Mayweather's undefeated record was about to fall. He spoke boldly, dismissed Floyd's skills, and promised to shock the world. He carried himself with a mix of confidence and defiance, believing aggression would be the key to victory. When the fight began, Ortiz charged forward, throwing wild combinations and attempting to rough Mayweather up against the ropes. For brief moments, his aggression seemed to work. He pushed the pace, leaned in, and tried to turn the fight into chaos. But Mayweather remained composed, slipping punches, countering cleanly, and slowly frustrating his opponent. As the rounds progressed, Ortiz's frustration grew. He began using his head, pressing it into Mayweather's face during clinches. In the fourth round, he crossed the line completely, launching a blatant headbutt that stunned the crowd. The referee deducted a point, and Ortiz immediately moved in with exaggerated apologies, hugging Mayweather and lowering his guard. That lapse lasted less than a second. The moment the action resumed, Mayweather fired a lightning-fast left hook, followed by a crushing right hand. Ortiz collapsed to the canvas, unable to beat the count. The fight was over in an instant, leaving fans divided over the ending, but united in one understanding. Inattention and misplaced confidence can end everything in a heartbeat. Each of these stories carries the same underlying truth. Confidence is not the enemy. Believing in yourself is essential at the highest level of combat sports. But when confidence becomes arrogance, when preparation is replaced by performance and respect is replaced by dismissal, the sport has a way of correcting you. The ring doesn't care about press conferences. The cage doesn't care about predictions. The bell erases all narratives except the one written by fists, feet, and focus. Adrien Broner learned it against Marcos Maidana. Michael Venom Page learned it against Douglas Lima. James Gallagher learned it against Ricky Bandejas. Victor Ortiz learned it against Floyd Mayweather Jr., different eras, different stages, same outcome. Talk without discipline invites disaster. That's what makes these moments so unforgettable. They are reminders that no matter how loud the buildup gets, the truth always reveals itself when the door closes and there's nowhere left to hide. If you enjoyed this episode, drop a comment below and let me know which fight hit the hardest and which arrogance-fueled moment you think deserves to be featured next. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Because in combat sports, confidence is powerful, but humility keeps you standing.
We rise the Gallagher. Saturday night or Friday night when I walk back in there, I'm going to let it all go. Every shot is heads